Alright, welcome to Chef's Take. I'm your host, Michael Zavlaris. This is the first video I will be posting since the second night of the NFL Draft, which was back in late April. That day was a roller coaster. We get Cam Jurgens, we steal Nakobe Dean in the third round, and we find out that the Sixers blow out the Raptors, but it cost Joel Embiid his fucking face. So, yeah, that was a fucking roller coaster of a day, I would say. So, without further ado, let's get into my season picks. So, as of right now, it's just me today, and this is a different video. Unfortunately, the computer's a little messed up, so I can't do any streams right now. So, we're going to do it this way. It's just going to be a voiceover like a regular podcast. So, without further ado, let's go over my season award picks. No one else gave me theirs, by the way. Sometime next week, whenever we do a video, I'll probably have it for you. But MVP, I'm going with Herbert. I think this is the year he wins MVP. I made these picks, by the way, about 3 days before kickoff the Bills and Rams game. So I picked Justin Herbert. I put like $25 on him to win MVP. I think he had like the third or fourth highest odds at plus 900. Right now, Josh Allen is the favorite. He was someone I wanted to pick too, but honestly, too many people are picking Josh Allen. So, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if he won MVP, but my pick is Herbert. Offensive Player of the Year, I picked Justin Jefferson. I believe he's going to have a season similar to Cooper Kupp's, like he did last year. And after what I saw, what he did to the Packers last week, he's on the right track. Defensive Player of the Year, I was debating whether to pick T.J. Watt or Micah Parsons, but I settled with Micah Parsons. And Parsons a beast. I think I would not be surprised if he won Defensive Player of the Year this year. T.J. Watt will be out for 6 weeks due to a torn pec. He's going to miss at least 6 weeks due to being on the IR, but we'll see whenever he comes back. He's not going to miss the whole season, though. Offensive Rookie of the Year, I really didn't know who to pick, so I settled with Chris Olave. I believe he had 3 catches and 41 yards against the Falcons last week, and he has to share the ball with Jarvis Landry and Michael Thomas, as well as Alvin Kamara. So, why did I pick him? Because I had no idea who to pick. So, yeah. I'm going with Chris Olave. Defensive Rookie of the Year, I'm going with Aiden Hutchinson. I feel like this one's a no-brainer. Usually, when it comes to Defensive Rookie of the Year, I generally tend to pick linebackers, unless you're like a really, really good defensive end, and that's what Aiden Hutchinson is. So, there's that. Comeback Player of the Year, this was a tough one. You have Christian McCaffrey, Jameis Winston. Derrick Henry was actually one, but I don't think he's going to win it because he already had like 1,000 yards last year anyway. He had a good season despite getting hurt. And Saquon Barkley. I ended up picking Saquon Barkley, and after what I saw last week, what he did to the Titans, he's on pace to win that award. So, only the future will tell. And Coach of the Year, I ended up picking Brandon Staley, who is the coach for the Chargers. So, that's it for the season predictions right now. Like I said, my computer is broken. If it wasn't, I would have read off each team's overall record throughout the season. I use Playoff Predictor. You can pick every team to win their game, like which team will win their game throughout all 18 weeks, including the playoffs. It'll give you the seeding, the rankings for the draft, and all that kind of shit. But unfortunately, all that info is on the computer, so I can't show you. But some things I can tell you at the top of my head. I I had Dallas missing the playoffs, and after them losing Dak, it's after even how they played last week, they were going to miss the playoffs. But without Dak, that's just like the fucking nail in the coffin, and we're only in week 1. I had the Eagles going 12-5, but I will not be surprised if they have a record that's lower, because it's the Eagles. You know, we underachieved despite the stacked roster we have on paper. I mean, we only gave up 35 points to the fucking Lions. However, I even thought the Lions were going to be better than they were last year. Like, I believe I picked the Lions to go 7-10, which, you know, it's a losing record, but for the Lions, it's actually pretty good. I had the Packers and Vikings going to the playoffs. The Packers were going to win the division, but it was going to be very close. And after what I saw last Sunday, that could very well happen, unless Minnesota takes it. For the NFC West, I still had the what's it called? The Rams making the playoffs and winning the division, but I have them going, I think it was 11-6, as well as the Niners, but given head-to-head record, the Rams were going to win the division. And I believe, if I'm not mistaken, I had the Cardinals going 9-8 and making the playoffs. So, there's that. In the AFC, I can't really tell you much. I know I picked the Bills to be the top seed at like 14-3 or so. I have the entire AFC West, that being the Chiefs, Chargers, Broncos, and Raiders. I have all 4 teams going to the playoffs. And believe it or not, I have the Chargers winning that division. I had them winning that division, but I mean, Mahomes pretty much proved he didn't need Tyreek Hill. I mean, he dropped 5 touchdowns against the Cardinals without Tyreek Hill. And right now, the Chiefs are the only undefeated team in that division. So, there's that. And I have this one is going to bother some people. I had the Bengals going 10-7. However, they were going to miss the playoffs. That is primarily due to the fact that I had the entire AFC West division making the playoffs. I forget who else was going to the playoffs in the AFC. I know I picked the Colts to win the division. So, obviously they're going to the playoffs. But as for the other wildcard teams, I can't really tell you at the top of my head. So, that's the best I can give you right now. I forget most of them. I apologize. But, anyway, without further ado, let's get on to our weekly picks. So obviously I didn't post a video of our week 1 picks because I was way too busy with school and work. So due to the tie with Indy and Houston, I'm only gonna give you the record of 15 games. So me, Sal, and Matt went 11-4. Vegas, I'm not doing Madden right now because I don't have Madden 23, so as a substitute for the moment, I'm just using the Vegas odds. Vegas and Vicente went 10-5, and Anthony went 12-3. And in case you were wondering, yes, Anthony did pick the Giants to beat the Titans. How about that? So, let's get on to week 2. So, Thursday night on Amazon Prime, first of all, Amazon Prime did a pretty good job when it came to streaming the game. I mean, mine buffered a little bit, but I think that was just my internet. But other than that, the crew is good, the production is good, the scoreboard looks nice. But the only problem I have with the scoreboard is that it doesn't show the timeouts. That's like the only killer for me. But other than that, everything was good. And I didn't know that they have a Dude Perfect telecast to the game. So, I mean, I didn't watch it. I wanted to hear Al Michaels because Al Michaels is the fucking GOAT. But, yeah, that was a pretty good game. I couldn't really decide between the Chargers and Chiefs, but I eventually settled with the Chiefs due to the fact that Keenan Allen didn't play. If he did play, I believe the Chargers would have won that game. And I just want to say, Justin Herbert is a fucking dog. Bro played the last few minutes of the game with fucking broken ribs. On a 4th down, essentially deciding the game, he throws an absolute dime for what, 30 yards? Yeah, Herbert, Matt has Patrick Mahomes as his hubby. Aside from Jalen Hurts, Justin Herbert's my hubby. I'll come out and say it. I don't care. So, I picked the Chiefs. Vicente picked the Chargers. Sal, Matt, no surprise, and Vegas picked the Chiefs. Anthony picked the Chargers. That was a good game, though. The only thing I didn't like about that game was the fact that literally every time Mahomes threw a pick, there was always something when he threw a pick, whether it was a flag or they dropped the fucking ball. I mean, you can't make it up. The first, if I remember correctly, one of the picks, it was a bad call. I mean, they called defensive pass interference when Mahomes threw a pick. I think it was the first pick. They said defensive pass interference. But if you look at the replay, Valdez-Scantling literally threw the Chargers cornerback to the ground. The second one, I don't even remember the second one, but one of the other picks, it was the right call, and the other pick that was dropped by Asante Samuel Jr., that was a drop. So can't really complain, but it was just like, why? Anyway, ran over. First game of Sunday, we have the Jets at Cleveland. The Jets got embarrassed by the Ravens, no fucking surprise. And Cleveland beat the Panthers on a game-winning field goal. Deshaun Watson is suspended for like 12 weeks or so. So right now, Jacoby Brissett is their quarterback. And with Zach Wilson spraining his MCL in the preseason against the Eagles, Joe Flacco will be starting again. It doesn't fucking matter. Everybody's going with Cleveland here, so let's cut the bullshit. Next, we have Washington at Detroit. Carson Wentz did pretty well in his Commanders debut. 4 touchdowns, 300-plus passing yards. Now, granted, it was against the Jaguars and against his former head coach, Doug Peterson, who I still love. They're going against Detroit, who gave the Eagles a run for their money. Detroit has a lot to prove this season. They were the team selected for this year's Hard Knocks series. Like I said, Detroit gave Philly a run for their money. They dropped 35 points on our defense. But then again, Jonathan Gannon is our defensive coordinator, so I did not expect much. Me, Vicente, Sal, Anthony, and Vegas are going with Detroit here. Matt is going with the Washington Commanders. The reason why I'm picking Detroit, the main reason why the Eagles won that game was because of Jalen Hurts' running ability. His legs won us that game. There were so many like 3rd and 7s, 3rd and 15 and such. A lot of those third downs were converted with Hurts' legs. They could not contain Hurts. Nor could they contain not Antonio Brown. They could not contain A.J. Brown. Now, Washington, they do have Terry McLaurin, but I personally think, without any bias, A.J. Brown is better, and Carson Wentz does not have wheels like Jalen Hurts. Before the ACL, somewhat, but Carson is not as mobile, so I think the Lions win this game on Sunday, solely due to the fact that they don't have to deal with a mobile quarterback. Next, we have Tampa Bay at New Orleans. New Orleans came back and beat the Falcons. Falcons blew another double-digit fourth-quarter lead. No fucking surprise. And Tampa Bay, like everybody else loved, embarrassed the Cowboys. The Cowboys were the only team to not score a touchdown last week. And they they looked awful. Dak looked terrible. Even before his injury, he looked terrible. Like, it's amazing how well you can look when you have so many gifted receivers. Like, Dak had Schultz, Zeke back when he was good, Amari Cooper, CeeDee Lamb, and Michael Gallup. No wonder why his numbers look great. Look at the fucking supporting cast he had. And he has that great fucking O-line. Now, he is put in a similar situation as Carson Wentz was in 2019. Only Carson was still much worse because his wide receiver one for most of the season was Greg Ward. Dak still has CeeDee Lamb. And Carson Wentz still led us to the playoffs. Dak couldn't do shit. Now, granted, it was the Bucs. I'll give him that. But I just want to say, that's how Carson Wentz is feeling right now. I honestly think Carson would have done better with that team than Dak would have. Just saying. Ran over. So, Tampa Bay, Brady went on podcast and he was talking about how he's pretty much human now. He only took like two or three hits, and they're from Michael Parsons. He said he woke up the next day, he was all sore, bruises and cuts and everything, something that has like never happened to him before. So this will be Brady's last dance, I believe, and that's what everyone else is expecting. But then again, we're expecting this shit for the past 5 years, so who knows. But New Orleans, since Tom Brady was a Buccaneer, in the regular season, Brady is 0-4 against the Bucs. Not against the Bucs, against the Saints. But that was when Sean Payton was the head coach. And for the most part, Drew Brees was the quarterback. But neither of them are on the team now. So, give me the Buccaneers. But I think the game is going to be like 24-20 Bucs. Something like that. I don't think the Bucs are going to blow out the Saints, but they're going to keep it close. So, me, Vicente, Matt, and Vegas are picking Tampa Bay. Sal and Anthony are picking New Orleans. Next, we have Carolina at the Giants. Baker Mayfield was receiving boos in his first start as a Panther. Guy can't catch a break. And the Giants came off of a great upset against the Titans. I'm picking Carolina here. They have a better roster, but I will not be surprised if the Giants do pull off another upset. Actually, no, they're not even an upset. Vegas is favoring them to win this game, believe it or not. But I will not be surprised if the Giants win this game. Vicente, Anthony, and Vegas are going with the Giants. Sal, Matt, and myself are going with the Panthers. Next, we have New England at Pittsburgh. Mac Jones is dealing with back spasms, and he was also playing sick last week against the Dolphins. Pittsburgh just lost TJ Watt for at least 6 weeks. They almost lost Najee Harris, who is good to go on Sunday. However, I am not too confident in Najee Harris because he suffered a foot injury last week, and it was in the same foot when he suffered a Lisfranc injury in training camp. So that is something to look out for. Why am I talking about Harris so much? Well, that's because I picked him 8th overall in my fantasy league, completely unaware of the foot injury, unfortunately. But it doesn't matter. Pittsburgh made Joe Burrow look like Nathan Peterman. So everybody but Vegas is going with Pittsburgh here. Next, we have Indy at Jacksonville. Indy tied with Houston last week. And Doug Peterson is seeking his first win as the Jaguars head coach. This is not even a discussion. Everybody's going with Indy here, so we're going to move on. Next, we have Miami at Baltimore. Both teams looked great last week. Me, Matt, Anthony, and Vegas are going with Baltimore. Sal and Vicente are going with Miami. Next, we have Atlanta at the Rams. Both teams got embarrassed last week. Stafford is still suffering an elbow injury. He was only looking at Cooper Kupp the entire game, nobody else. Mahomes dropped 5 touchdowns on the Cardinals. But it doesn't matter. everybody has the Rams this week. Next, we have Seattle at San Francisco. Geno Smith spoiled Russell Wilson's homecoming by putting on a fucking masterclass and winning the game 17-16. I mean, Denver could have easily won that game if their coach wasn't a fucking stooge. Like, what the hell? What the hell was that? 55 seconds or whatever. You're taking your good old fucking time on 4th and 5, and it takes you 30 seconds to call a timeout. Just to trot on a kicker to kick a 64-yard field goal. Here's some information for you. The Broncos gave up multiple first-round picks and multiple players for Russell Wilson. They also gave him $250 million before he even played an actual game with the Broncos. He is getting $49 million a year. But no, all those pieces, all that money you invest in Russell Wilson, you want to trot out a kicker to kick a 64-yard field goal. Here's the thing. Kickers have a 7% chance or less in making a 60-plus yard field goal. This 64-yard field goal would have been the second longest field goal in NFL history. If this was Justin Tucker, this would be different. But it's not Justin Tucker. Russell Wilson, on 4th and 5 or less, converted 47% of the time. That is actually pretty good. But no, let's try out the kicker. And this fucking jackass the next day is like, oh yeah, now looking back on it, we should have went for it. No shit, Sherlock. The whole country knew that. Everybody but you. Fucking moron. Alright. Rant over. Everybody is going with Denver this week. Next, we have... Wait, did I say Arizona, Vegas? Am I retarded? Oh no, I'm still in the Seattle game. So, San Francisco, they lost to the Bears. And the Bears were playing in such terrible conditions. Like, they need a new field. I think they are making a new field, actually. The Bears. But, anyway. Everyone's going with San Francisco this week. San Francisco is supposed to have bad weather on Sunday. It's going to be a close game, I think, but I'm going to go with San Francisco. The Seahawks did just lose Jamal Adams in the season due to a quad injury. So there's that. So yeah, everyone's going with San Francisco this week. Next, we have Cincinnati at Dallas. Joe Burrow looked like Nathan Peterman. He turned the ball over 5 times, but they forced overtime, but eventually lost the game. Dallas looks like complete shit right now. They don't even have Dak Prescott. Cooper Rush is their quarterback. This is without a question. This is no discussion. Everybody's going with Cincinnati here, so we're going to move right on. Next, we have Houston at Denver. Everyone has Denver. Next, we have Arizona at Vegas. Both are coming off of a loss. Everyone is going with Vegas here. I mean, look. Vegas has Derek Carr, Devontae Adams, Chandler Jones, Darren Waller, and Hunter Renfrow. So this is another without a question game. Next, we have Chicago at Green Bay. Chicago looked good last week. Green Bay played like shit. I mean, Aaron Rodgers still owns Chicago. So everyone is going with Green Bay here. Tennessee at Buffalo. Buffalo is the best team in the league. I don't care what you say. And the Titans just lost to the fucking Giants. So this is a no-brainer. Everyone is going with Buffalo here. And for the last game of the week, we have Minnesota at Philly. Justin Jefferson is having, from what I saw, like I said, I think he's going to have a Cooper Kupp type season like Kupp did last year. And after what I saw last week, he is on track. Philly gave up 35 points to the Lions. And the Lions don't have a Kirk Cousins. I think Kirk Cousins is better than Goff. The Lions don't have Kirk Cousins, Justin Jefferson, Adam Thielen, or Dalvin Cook. Our run defense is terrible. And yeah. So I think this game, I don't know. I'm picking the Vikings here. The Vikings are my pick. With us giving up 35 points to the Lions last week, I can only imagine what this game against the Vikings is going to look like. It's not going to look good. So give me Minnesota. Vicente is picking Philly. Sal, Matt, and Anthony are picking Minnesota as well. And Vegas is picking Philly by 2, believe it or not. I noticed the Eagles, we're getting so overhyped. Like, everyone is saying, like, okay, the Eagles are going to be, like, the best team in the NFC or something. We're, like, the most bet-on team to win the NFC. And I don't like it because we play better as underdogs. The Lions fucking exposed us last week. And the Vikings are a far superior team. I think we're going to get cooked. Well, actually, you know what? This game is going to be a shootout, I think. Like, that's what I think is going to happen. It's going to be a shootout. It's probably going to be something like 35. I'm thinking like 35-27 Vikings. Vikings secondary, I mean, they have Harrison Smith. Other than that, their secondary is not good. So A.J. Brown is going to feast. I expect Devontae Smith to do pretty well because he did not even catch a ball last week. Neither did Quez Watkins. Minnesota's run defense last week was terrible too. I mean, I think they were allowing 6 or 7 yards per attempt. And we were literally pounding the ball last week. Hurts, Gainwell, Sanders, and fucking 2 years, and Scott all scored a rushing touchdown last week. We still have a really good rushing offense. So I think we're going to run the ball a lot too, but I still think we're going to lose. Obviously, I want us to win, but I'm being realistic here. I don't think we're going to win. And icing on the cake, here's a stat for you. We have not won a single Week 2 game since 2015. I just realized that. Actually, I know it was at least... No, 2016, my bad. We haven't won a single Week 2 game since 2016. 2015, we started 0-2. We lost to the Falcons, and we lost to the Cowboys. 2016, we started 3-0. 2017, we lost to the Chiefs. 2018, we lost to the Bucks. 2019, I forget. Oh, yeah, 2019, we lost to the Lions. It was either the Rams or no, it was the Lions. 2020, we lost to the Rams. So, yeah, 2021 last year we lost to the Niners. So yeah, it's been 6 years. It's been like 6 years since we last won a Week 2 game. So yeah, that it does not sound promising. So all the odds are against us. So yeah. Oh my God, I'm talking about this game too much. So, holy shit, 30 minutes, goddamn. So yeah, that's it for this week. I'm picking Minnesota. I hope I'm wrong. I want to be wrong. But anyway, that's it for me. Thank you all for listening. I'll try to have everybody on next week. If not, it's going to be just me again, and it's probably going to be in the same format. I do not know. Only time will tell. But anyway, thanks for watching. I greatly appreciate it, and I will be back next week.